Well, we are live on YouTube. How you guys doing? I hope you had a wonderful week. I wasn't here last week because it was Easter and I had some family over and all. But thank you so much for stopping by and indulge me for the next hour. Be here until about 4 o'clock, roughly about around that time. Welcome to the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear. Joining me off camera this week is my dad. Hello. And Amy over here on the couch. And it is just the three of us. We did have a wonderful Easter. It was pretty good. Had some family over. Made a little dinner. Turned out pretty good. So this past week, most of you may have gotten your stimulus checks from the federal government. We did. We have ours spent pretty much. Now it's all gone. Most of my stimulus check had gone to repairs on my van. I had to get a new control arm and an outer tie rod end. I had to get an oil change. I had to buy new brake pads. And now I'm going to have to get a serpentine belt replaced. And so it's just one thing after another. But I'm taking care of it little by little. And yes, I've been kind of having a little bit of fun with it. Not a lot of fun, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm taking care of business. I went up to my cousins last week, went up to Heidi and Elwood's and spent time with them for a while. And it was good to see him again. And we hung out. We rode around on the side-by-side that he has. And those little side-by-sides, those things move along really good. And they go at very high speeds. And it's road legal too. So he says Elwood says he took his side-by-side out on the road and he got it up to about 60 miles an hour. That's really fast, especially for something like that. But I had a good time up there. Hung out with my brother Wayne. He came out because on the 6th of April was my dad's birthday. He turned, I won't say. Amy says 36. We'll go with that. We had a little birthday party for Dad, and my brothers came out and hung out with Dad for his birthday, and it was nice. Had some good food, listened to some good music. Yeah, it was we had a barbecue. It was really nice. I enjoyed myself. So yeah, I've been very, very busy, and I decided to take last week off because of Easter. And I know I haven't uploaded a whole lot of content to my channel, and for that, I do apologize. But I get busy doing other things, and some things I just can't record. And especially while I'm driving, I can't say that either because I can record while I'm driving. That'll be our little secret. But everything's been pretty good as far as that goes. I've been doing okay. These two have been doing okay as far as I can tell. Now, with the COVID situation here in Michigan, Michigan, as it stands right now, currently is the hardest hit state in the entire country. In the entire United States, Michigan is the hardest hit. And we're rolling out vaccinations today here in Saginaw County. I'm not sure. I forget where they said they were having the vaccination. A bunch of vaccines today. And Michigan, really and truly, we've got the most cases and the most positivity with the COVID as it stands right now. And it's not looking good. And normal as usual. People are panicking. People are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. And they're just panicking about everything. As for myself, I watch my front. I watch my back. In addition to every fucking thing else I watch, I make sure that I do, take proper precautions and avoid large crowds of people. And I try not to ingratiate myself into big crowds because it just increases the chances of potential COVID infections. So, but most of the time I'm here at home. I hang out here at the house. So how was your week, Dad?
damn Secretary of State's office.
Yeah, that's for those of you who don't know, Secretary of State in Michigan, that's known as the DMV, where we go to renew our driver's licenses and renew our tags and things like that.
My birthday was on the 6th, and I got
Yeah.
until May 3rd to get my
Yeah.
tags and stuff.
Yeah, Dad's birthday was on April 6th, and he has to wait until May 3rd. And you know, this is the thing that really upsets me, or
Me too.
I guess I don't know, maybe not upset is the right word. It just aggravates me. I guess that would be a more appropriate word, because you know, the state is perfectly fine, although we have this horrible strain of the COVID in Michigan. The state, our governor, was okay with allowing restaurants to reopen. There was no word of restaurants closing down again. Kids are going back to school. I know my cousins, their kids have to go back to virtual learning in their school district. They're okay with allowing all of that.
Bars open.
Yeah, bars are open. Now, mind you, bars are at your own leisure, which means that if you want to go out and drink and make a fool of yourself, well, maybe not necessarily a fool out of yourself, depending who you are. But if you want to go out and drink cocktails, you can, and that's at your own leisure. But when we're talking about Secretary of State offices, bureaucratic offices where we have to go in order to renew important shit, well, you have to set up an appointment for that.
Well, yeah, they're gonna give you
Really?
they stop you.
Yeah. And they can stop you. The cops have the discretion of pulling you over if you don't have a plate, a legal plate on the back of your car, and they can write you a ticket.
Even if you don't have a plate.
Yep.
Well, I went to the eye doctor's the other day just to get a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah.
I had to make an appointment
Mm-hmm.
just to get a pair of sunglasses. Before the COVID, I would have been able to just walk in.
Yeah. Just waltz in. It's
check
really,
it out,
it's
buy it.
it's just really stupid, you know.
This way of our governor would
Priorities are totally and completely fucked up, to say the very least.
They're talking about everything staying the way it is.
Yeah,
now.
I'm getting
plates and shit.
I'm getting sick of wearing these fucking masks. I know many people are. I'm sick of wearing them. Now, as far as what they just said, the state wants to keep everything like this, which
Where you gotta call.
I hope it's not the case.
Well, say you gotta go to your eye doctor.
Yeah.
You gotta call and set up an appointment just to do what
Well-
you gotta do.
Well, I mean, a doctor.
Jay went
I
to
mean,
Walmart.
you always set up an appointment for the
Jay
doctor,
went to
but
Walmart last night, right?
yeah,
And didn't have his mask on because he had that ear thing in.
yeah,
Well, this lady jumped into his shit.
really.
Told him, you need to get your mask on. By law, no, she does not have the right to tell you to get your mask on, because if you have COPD or any medical reason, you do
Yeah.
not have to wear that.
You're well, not just that, but you're protected by the Fourth Amendment,
Yeah.
where you don't have to give information about your personal health problems
That's right.
that leads to reasons for you not wearing your mask.
All you gotta do is say, I have medical reasons.
Yep, you're exempt. There's exemptions written into the orders, the mask mandates. People are not aware of that,
You look into
and you know it's a shame when now because, and I do understand there are people out there who are using that as an excuse just to say, fuck it, I'm not wearing the mask and I'll take my chances. That I
I have
understand.
COPD and I can't
But
breathe.
if you have legitimate medical reasons, then you are exempt from wearing the mask.
I can't. I have COPD.
However, you don't have to show the reason. You don't need a doctor's slip. You don't need anything to present to Walmart or anywhere else you go, because that would be a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
I have COPD
So,
and I can't breathe with a mask.
It's a very slippery slope, to say the least. It is a very slippery slope. I wear the mask to avoid confrontation because I really don't want to have to, you know, I don't want to create something that shouldn't be created. I don't have any medical reasons that exempt me from wearing the mask. I just don't like wearing the son of a bitch. But Rules are rules, and I have to follow the rules. I don't write them; I just follow them.
And another thing, Jared, when people do wear them, they wear them past their nose.
Yeah, they wear them just beneath their
What is
nose.
that?
You're supposed to cover your mouth and your nose.
That's why they put that thing in your nose to check you.
Yeah. But the whole thing is just it's irritating. It's irritating. And one of the worst things of all about this pandemic is that people are just they're just aggressive.
They're mean.
People have gotten so fucking mean. They're irritable because of what's going on, which, you know what? You're not the only one. I'm irritable. Dad's irritable. Amy's irritable. We don't like this any more than you. But we still treat people with respect. We still talk to people nicely. We treat people the way that we would want to be treated. And that's just a fact, Jack. You got to be nice to people. You have to treat people with respect. Although respect is earned, but if you want respect, you got to give it. You know, and that's where it's just, I don't know. People are just on the edge because of this COVID, and they're scared. They're petrified of everything, terrified of their own shadow. That's not the kind of world I want to live in.
They're scared for the kids, but yet I see a lot of kids going in the stores with their parents. With the parents who got the mask on, and the kids don't.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And I want this shit to be gone, just like the next person. But as for now, you know, we do what we got to do to get through it. You know, sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to do, but you know, that's just the way it is. Such is life.
There's one thing I want to say.
What's that?
Has nothing to pertain to this, but happy birthday, Mom and Helen. 80 years old.
Oh yeah, yeah. Today would have been my grandma's birthday. His mom. She was tragically taken from us in a car accident back in 1996. She would have been 80 today.
80 years old.
So,
Which is weird. I'm 63 and Dane's 64.
Yeah.
Much older than
yeah, my grandma was very young when she had my dad. Because my dad just turned 63 on the 6th, and my grandma, his mom, would have just turned 80 today. So, and this November she'll be gone for 25 years, and it just doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it, but you know, that's what I always tell people. You know, time is a thief, and sometimes the math works for you or it works against you. In most cases, it works against you. But yeah, happy birthday to my grandma Charlene. I miss her dearly. And we actually, speaking of that, we've sustained a lot of death lately. I just found out last night, or the both of us just found out last night, that a good friend of ours from the back 40, he passed away. His name was Rick, and the last name don't matter. But a good friend of ours named Rick, he passed away. He was very young. He was only in his 50s. And someone that we had known for a good many years, she worked at a local junkyard. She passed away. She was 74. Her name was Jenny, or Virginia, but we all called her Jenny. She was an awesome lady. Very well respected. Yeah, she was a strong woman. She was a very strong woman. She would pick up a whole engine block with her bare hands and just set it down. And I've seen her do it on more than one occasion. And my jaw is like, did she just do that? Holy fuck. You know, she was a strong woman. She was. And of course, this has been circulating all over the press. Prince Philip had passed away at the age of 99, the Duke of Edinburgh. He was married to Queen Elizabeth. I'm trying to think of that Queen Elizabeth. I get all these people mixed up. I don't really follow it closely to know who they are, but I know, like, I know little bits of information. I watch enough to know, and I listen, pay attention. But I'll get to that in a minute. But Prince Philip was 99. He lived a good life. And I think this coming Saturday, they're having his service. They're having a funeral for him, for Prince Philip. And Dad wanted me to make sure that I also mention a guy that we knew. His name was Butch. He used to own a bar out in Marion Springs. He passed away. And I don't remember how old he was, but he was a nice guy too. So we've sustained a lot of death in the past week. We've lost a lot of people. And I this was something I wanted to talk about too. So there are guys who go out there. Well, first of all, I'll say this: there's people who like to go on social media and they pretend to be underage girls, and they entice these older guys to talk to them and do things that are not so nice. And then when these guys think they're meeting up with the underage kid, they're meeting up with the adult. Well, this happened to someone that I actually know. And I could not believe my eyes when I seen it. He thought he was talking to a 15-year-old girl. I'm not going to say his name, but he thought he was speaking to a 15-year-old girl, sending dick pics and all that shit. And as it turns out, the person that he was speaking to was an older gentleman, and he showed up at his house. Yeah, he showed up at his house. And holy moly. It's like, why? I mean, first of all, you're sick in the fucking head to be even thinking about doing shit like that. Sending pics of yourself, especially to underage kids. Come on. Even when they told you, they specifically told you in the exchange and text messages that the person in question was only 15 years old. And he says, well, no, I think you're playing. I thought it was just a joke, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. If they tell you that if they tell you that they're underage, you leave them the fuck alone. You don't continue on flirting with them. And most of all, you don't send them a fucking picture of your. Just stupid is as stupid does, and it's disgusting. Well, he got caught. I don't know if the video was sent to the authorities, but he deserves it. He deserves to go to prison for using a device to commit a felony. That's, I mean, I've known that kid for a long time, and he's always been a menace and a troublemaker, and I kept my distance from him for a reason. And he was exposed for being a predator, and good riddance, motherfucker. You deserve to be locked up, and the judge should throw the key away. It's just, I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. But it kind of, it's like, whoa, I know that kid, Well, that's what happens. Play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. And it was in the news, something else in the news last week. There was a fatal rollover accident just down the road from my house. And the guy who was driving, he was only like 23 or 24. He was ejected from the vehicle. He died at the scene. He was a fireman for the Albee Township Fire Department out by my grandpa's house. And there were two small children in the back. They were in car seats. And they're expected to be okay. And the woman that was with him, she was a 26-year-old from St. Charles, just up the road. The last I heard, she was bleeding internally. So that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And how could I have forgotten this? Rapper DMX had passed away. He was 50 years old. Now, mind you, I'm not really a fan of rap music or hip hop music or anything like that, but I have heard of DMX. I've heard of some of his songs, like Nonchalantly. I've listened to some of his music, like at parties and TV commercials, or, just not specifically looking it up on the internet, but just hearing it out in the world. He was 50 years old. He passed away. So again, a lot of death going on. I don't know. I guess, as they say, when it's your time, it's your time. It's unfortunate, but. And I was I was having this conversation with a friend of mine last night. I was down at the back 40, and we were talking, bullshitting, had a couple beers, and I said, when I die, I said I want to have a special message, an epitaph written on my headstone. He says, "Oh yeah, what's that?" I said, "It hurt for a minute, but I'll live." And he stopped, and it hurt for a minute, but you'll look. Wait a minute. How will you live if it's on your headstone? Duh. But we were drinking, we'll blame it on the booze, but it was fun.
How do you tell if you're a redneck?
I had 3. How do you tell if you're a redneck?
When your comb has more teeth than you do.
When your comb has more teeth, fuck you. I'm missing teeth.
Yeah.
I'm missing a few couple of teeth.
Uncle Mark's out here the other night trying to comb.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's 2 teeth, a couple teeth missing on
Right.
his comb.
Yeah.
I said that to him. I said, how do you tell if you're a redneck, Mark? When your comb's got
More teeth than you.
do.
Yeah. Hey.
Not at all.
My dog wants to play fetch or whatever. Now that's a good one. I like that joke. But hey, I'm missing my 2 front teeth. That's because I drink too much Pepsi. Too much sugar is not good for you, but it tastes so good.
You gotta try to tell the kids that, because that's all they want. The sugary stuff.
Yeah. It's not good for you. But it's been a busy week. We've been getting lots of rain here. It's been raining like for the past 4 or 5 days now here in Michigan. And it was on this day back in 1965. Dad, you might remember this. There was a tornado outbreak on Palm Sunday. And it encompassed like Michigan and some like out in the plains like Missouri. And there was an F4 tornado that had affected Genesee and Shiawassee County, and over 270 people dead just in Michigan alone. And there was extensive damage out in Grand Rapids and a whole bunch of other places in Michigan. But there was, I think they said there was over 1 million or 2 million in damages. Now, 2 million or 1 million back in 1965, today that would be like 2 billion. Because the value of the dollar changed since 1965, dramatically changed since 1965. But it was on this day 56 years ago. Yeah, 56 years. My math was, I had to think for a minute. Yeah, it was 56 years ago today. But you remember what you would remember. And Amy, you might even remember this, the blizzard of 78.
Yep. I remember the ice storm too in St. Charles.
Yeah. Yeah.
70s.
Yeah. Well, the blizzard of 78 was big news here in Michigan.
You couldn't walk outside.
It was before I was born, like 8 years.
Open the front doors. You try to. No.
Yeah. Like a wall of white.
When we opened the front door,
Yeah.
we had to actually dig a tunnel through
Yeah.
to get outside.
I remember the tornado when I was a kid on Chapin Road on the farmhouse, the tornado that struck the cornfield across the road. And there was a young couple with just a newborn baby, just little, probably a week old, maybe if that. Mom and dad motioned them in to get out of the storm to seek shelter. And then the mother started breastfeeding the baby in front of us, and which I have a problem. I mean, now listen, when I say I don't have a problem with breastfeeding, it's not, oh, look at the titty. No, I don't have a problem with that because you got to feed your baby. But my mother, she was like, well, could you cover that or, go to the bathroom or whatever? But how mom said it though, she says, well, could you like go to the bathroom? Well, listen, you don't make us kids go to the bathroom to eat our food. Why are you going to make a baby? What you would say in a situation like that is, could you please put something over? Could you please cover it up?
You put that
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sexualize that. That's what you're doing. What I'm saying is you got to feed your baby. And I was just little. I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years old, so I didn't understand. And what I'm saying is that a woman has to feed her baby. She's got to feed her offspring. You got to do what you got to do to feed them. You're not going to make me go to the bathroom to eat my food. Why make this young girl? I don't know. But it was interesting nonetheless. It hasn't happened lately. But we haven't had any twisters. Actually, yesterday we had a bad windstorm come through here and it rained so fucking hard. And I thought for sure a small tornado was coming through because it got so windy and it rained so hard and it was horizontal rain. And that's usually indicative of a tornado. That's like the first sign of a tornado is horizontal rain. And it got bad. And it was so bad you couldn't see. That's how bad it was. And it lasted for like 5 minutes. Yeah. It lasted for about 5 minutes. And it's like, holy shit. I'm looking out my bedroom window and it's like, I think we got a tornado coming through or something. Just a radical fucking storm was coming through, but it was just a gust front from a thunderstorm because after a while the wind had died down and then it started to thunder and lightning. And then it got hot again. Yeah. Once the rain quit, then it got hot. But it's been kind of crazy around here. And by the way, the chat is open. If you would like to say hello, I'll say hello back because I'm, monitoring the chat. And if you come here looking for trouble, your ass is history. And I'll make damn sure of it. So if you want to leave a comment in the chat section, I invite you to leave a comment. And I will recognize your comment and I'll probably read it on the air as I'm live. Who's here?
Nobody.
Sound like someone just pulled up. Well, he's going to have to wait out there because I'm busy doing a live stream. And it's not to be rude, but when I'm in the middle of doing something, I don't like to be interrupted. And that happened already where I'm trying to talk to my audience and I got people hooting and hollering in my kitchen and they were being loud and obnoxious and they knew that I was live streaming and they were just being spiteful of the fact that I was doing this. Well, not this week. I didn't do it last week, like I said, because we had Easter and we had some people over, some family came over, which was nice. We prepared a ham. I prepared mashed potatoes. I made my green bean casserole, which is good. I love green bean casserole. And today I went to Frank's to the local supermarket, got some stuff to make my taco salad again. And I'm thinking tonight we just might have spaghetti and garlic toast. And if Dad's gone when I'm making it, I will, in fact, save a plate for him. Because he's going to be hungry when he gets home. So, yeah, it sounds like someone's out here. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's what my plans are for the rest of this evening once I get done with the live stream here. I haven't really been doing a whole hell of a lot else other than just I went to the back 40 and it really wasn't even that crowded. I mean, there were some people in there and there were some kids, but it wasn't like jam packed so much to the point where you couldn't sit down. We sat like at this long table. There were a couple tables put together and they were distanced out a little ways. And we sat around, drank beer, laughed, had a good time. It was nice to see some friends I haven't talked to in a while, but it doesn't happen often. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I remember when I went to go in and have my surgery.
Yeah.
They may have messed up my vein.
In your hand?
We found out that I got a blockage in it, for one.
Scruffy, stop. Yeah.
And don't know whereabouts it is, but they went to go put the
Ooh.
IV here
Ouch.
where they normally would,
Yeah.
and they got the needle in so far, and it was blocked.
Ouch.
There was no way of getting, and they're sitting here pushing this thing in, trying to get it through
Yeah.
the blockage. And
I don't fucking like IVs.
I blacked out.
I don't like IVs.
Last thing I remember saying is the person's name that was putting it in,
Yeah.
and I black out.
I'd be
And
saying
when I-
something
When I
that.
talked to her, she had that needle out of there and another one going in over here
Wow.
where they draw the blood.
I would be saying something other than her name. I would be saying a whole bunch of words.
If you look, you can't even see veins on that one.
No. But it's, I don't know. It's, I don't like IVs. I've had enough of them in my life. I don't like them. Even now as an adult, don't like them. I'm not crazy about them. I don't like needles in general, but if I had to choose between blood work and an IV, I can do blood work.
I can do the blood work too.
You know,
IV just,
I don't like IVs and I don't like injections. I don't like getting shots. Ugh. I'm not a fan of needles in general, but I don't mind a little blood work.
There's one
I
shot
can
I
handle
don't
a
like
little,
getting.
I can handle a little pick, but not like harpoon fucking burning and, you know.
And that's the flu shot.
Oh yeah, those are fun. Yeah, the flu shot.
I get that every year.
I haven't, you know, as a matter of fact, I don't even know where I am on immunizations. Immunizations. I'm almost 35 years old. I think that's pretty much a done deal. But
Yeah, it's just
they want me to get, you know, be up to date on my vaccinations and stuff. I say, fuck it.
well, that's like this one for COVID.
Yeah,
I mean, I look at it this way: it should be your choice,
it should be.
unless there's something seriously medically wrong with you where you desperately need
Yeah.
to have it.
I have very mixed feelings about the COVID vaccination. A lot of my friends have got the COVID vaccination. I'm not telling anybody they shouldn't get it, and I'm not telling anybody that they should get it. I have my own feelings about, and they're not prolific, you know, like this is how I felt yesterday, this is how I feel today. The only thing prolific is that I have a lot of mixed feelings. I don't have
Yeah.
one set of feelings.
Like Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's the same way. And it doesn't help either when everybody hears what they hear on the news and everything.
There's
And
all kinds of different stories. Like I heard that, well, don't get Pfizer, get Johnson & Johnson, or don't get Johnson & Johnson, get, I don't know, whatever other,
Yeah.
Moderna, I think is what, or maybe that's the name of the vaccination. I don't know. I have no clue. I really don't watch the news. Not a lot. Maybe just to get the weather, but all the other shit,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someone in chat can correct me on that, but I think Moderna is just the name of the medicine that they inject into you. Look at these two. These dogs are down on the floor in front of the door waiting for Dad to come back in. They do this all the time. Of course, you can't see them.
Nope.
Oh, a little bit. You can see Barkley's head. Hey, Barky. Barky. Hey, there they are. You guys waiting for Dad to come back in. He'll be in a minute. I know. You want your daddy. But I have very mixed feelings about the vaccinations. I don't tell people to get it, and I don't tell people they shouldn't get it. That's entirely and totally up to you.
I'm on the list to get it.
Yeah. I don't think, because I've never been urged to get the vaccination. When I had the COVID, all they told me was, you know, we urge you to be tested for the COVID, because at that time, prior to that, I was never tested for the COVID.
Right.
So it was when I had the COVID around Thanksgiving, that's when they tested me. And although I didn't like it, I wasn't a fan of it, but I had to get it done. And as it turned out, I had the COVID. But she never told me to get vaccinations for it. She never told me to, she never really gave me a specific set of directions, like take this, drink this, eat that. Although I did take zinc and vitamin C. And the zinc actually had vitamin C in it. So I was getting a double dose of vitamin C, which fine. I fought the COVID tooth and nail. I kicked COVID's ass to the curb. A lot of people haven't. And a person that I mentioned just a few minutes ago, his name was Butch. He passed away. His brother had COVID and he died a week before Butch did. And I'm not saying, I don't want to make it sound like the COVID is no big deal. It's a huge deal. It's a fucking huge deal. But what I'm saying is in terms of, like vaccinations and stuff, I say, to each their own. If you feel you need it, get it. If you don't think you need it, don't get it. I'm not here nor there. I'm right in the middle. I'm right down the middle of the road. But I can say that COVID was a bitch. It was hell when I had it.
Yeah, I had it after you. And,
Yeah. Yeah, it hit me pretty hard.
Well, I didn't even think I had it because all I had was an earache in the right ear.
Yeah.
And
I didn't have that. Yeah.
Cloggage,
yeah.
My nose was clogged.
Yeah.
I didn't think any of it.
Yeah. I didn't,
Still had the taste, sense of taste,
Yeah.
smell.
Same here. I had like a congested sinuses and I didn't think anything of it, but then I started to lose my taste or my taste and my smell senses. And that's when Thanksgiving, it was at Thanksgiving when things went downhill really fucking quick. And that's when I told Dad, I got to go to Memorial Healthcare in Owasso, where I was born. And that's where I was tested for the COVID. And then I found out the next day on Black Friday that I had the COVID. But it's been a while. It's been a few months. It's water under the bridge. I'm feeling much, much, much better.
Yeah, so am I.
Other than depression here and there, depression kind of comes and goes, but I figure I have my reasons for feeling down and out. And, and that's kind of something I wanted to talk about in this week's Sunday video regarding the COVID and the depression and things like that. If you watch the news, you know for a fact, even if you're on social media, which social media is not news, but we'll just say for the sake of this conversation, the COVID has really just made people worse in terms of being afraid of everything and everyone. People have gotten meaner. They're more aggressive. They come on the internet and they say things that are mean and hurtful, not knowing what the other person is feeling, because you can't see a person's emotions on the other side. People use the internet. They weaponize the internet to magnify their hatred. And that's where things really took a turn for the worse, especially when they're telling you to stay home. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's no consequences for awful, distasteful behavior in the internet. There's just no consequence for it. And there are people out there without a shadow of a doubt. There are people out there who feel discarded. They feel dismissed. They feel disenfranchised. They don't feel as if they're blending in with the mix, which I'm not concerned about trying to fit in or blend in with people. I don't give a fuck personally. But there are people out there who really and truly feel as if they're not a part of whatever it is that's going on. They don't feel loved. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel wanted. They don't feel accepted. And in times like this, where hatred is prevalent, where hatred is imminent, we really and truly have got to start treating each other better. That's just the way it is. There's no two ways about that. And I know, well, Jared, you haven't necessarily been the nicest person, so you're a hypocrite. And I'm going to tell you, the things that I say about people, that's all been in retaliation of things that they've said about me. So that's me defending myself and me giving the vitriol where it fucking belongs. But to generally randomly go around being nasty and negative to people, that's not who I am. It's not what I try to do. And it's not my intention to ever be nasty or mean to anybody. But when you listen to my daily rant recordings, some things have truly got to be said. And this world has gotten entirely out of hand. Entirely out of hand. People are just, they're unbelievable. Their actions and their behavior is unacceptable. It's way out of line. And we just got to be better towards each other. We got to stop treating people like they don't matter, like they have no purpose in life. We have to treat people better. And when you do good things, you have to do them for the right reasons. Otherwise, no one's going to take you personally. You know? So that's basically my thought on the whole COVID situation, in terms of, you know what, we've just got to treat people better. We can't be going on like this, and we cannot continue to spew hatred on the internet where people congregate when they want to communicate with friends, which I don't encourage Facebook. Facebook is just a shit show. It's a cesspool, and I don't encourage it. I tell people all the time, get the fuck off Facebook. If you have a chance, if the thought has ever crossed your mind to leave Facebook, do it. Get off Facebook. Have nothing to do with that shit anymore. And if people really and truly love you and care about you like they say they do, they will make an attempt. And if they don't, then you'll know. You'll know exactly where you stand. And the excuses that I get, because I've been texting friends, and emailing friends. And I bring this up often. I said, it's really fucking sad. I said, I get busy too. But even still, I take time out of the day. I take moments, seconds out of my day, no matter how busy I get. I take out the time to text you to say, hey, what's up? Where the fuck are you guys? I don't get any emails from you. I don't get any text messages from you. I get nothing from you. I said, the only time I ever hear from you is if I'm reaching out to you first. And I think that's a crock of shit. It's not right. And instead of, the truth, I get excuses. Oh, I'm so busy. You know what? We're all busy. We all get busy. Let's not bullshit each other. Let's not fuck around. Let's not kid each other. Everybody gets busy. It's a worn out, piss poor excuse. It only goes so far. You're so busy, but yet you can spend 6 hours a day on Facebook, but you can't take 2 seconds to text me or email me. Fuck that. That's a piss poor excuse. I don't accept it. I'll accept the fact that, yes, people generally are busy. We all get busy, but there is no way that you're so busy that you can't text me or email me, especially when you're on fucking Facebook, wasting your time. I can see through people's bullshit, and that's why I have the enemies that I have today, because I don't buy into their crap. And I see through people and their facades and their embellished, made up stories to try to champion themselves. That shit doesn't work for me. I know better. Because I speak the truth, and that's what people don't like. But in any event, I know bullshit. I can smell bullshit a mile away. I can smell it. I know when someone's being, it's just the same excuse all the fucking time. Yeah. I understand that, your kids are in the virtual learning, so you have to take care of that, make sure the kids get the schoolwork done. I'm not asking you for the stars. I'm not asking you for the moon. All I'm saying is when you're not doing those things, when you're not helping your kids with their schoolwork, or you're not doing anything that requires your attention, why can't you text me or email me? You're on Facebook 6 hours a day. Like, where do I stand in this friendship? That's the thing that sucks. And I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact. But I think I made my point. And, I really and truly, I just wish people were better to each other. You know, there's too much negativity, there's too much nastiness. We got to put an end to this shit. You know, it's just getting old. And you know, even when I do go out into the world, sometimes I'll keep to myself. Sometimes, like last night, you know, I was sitting at the table with my friends and we were drinking beer. They were all conversing with each other, and I'm just kind of sitting over here, just spinning my bottle around, like, wow, this is a lot of fucking fun. Staring at staring at the label on the beer bottle, and just like, yeah, I'm over here. You know, if anybody notices. But I just sat there and minding my business, drinking beer, and the lady down at the other end, she says, "Hey, you awake down there?" "Oh, yeah, I'm awake. It's just nobody talks. Nobody wants to talk to me." I said, "Well, you're awfully quiet down there." Well, if I'm not being spoken to, why the fuck speak? You know, there's just no reason to. Um, it's a lesson I had to learn too, that you don't speak unless you're spoken to. Most of the time, especially when you're out in public. I don't engage in conversation, and even when I do, people are just grouchy and snappy. You know, like I was in Chesaning last week, and all I did just it's like, pardon the fuck out of me. I just said hello. I didn't think that a greeting was violating you. Like, chill the fuck out. And I'm telling you, people are just really on edge about everything these days. And that's really a shame. You know, people really have to just relax. Y'all need to relax. You need to fucking just chill out, just cool your jets. There's a lot of things that go on in this world that I don't agree with. It upsets me. And I know that there's a lot of other people who are in the same predicament. They're in the same situation where the ways of the world are not as ideal as like the media tries to make it out to be. But, you know, at the end of the day, all we have is each other. We have no one else but us. And it's really a shame that they're just so aggressive. They're just so aggressive about everything too, every little thing. And I was talking to a friend of mine, just a sweet friend. We talked on the phone for over an hour. I could check real quick to see how long we officially talked. We talked for, let's see, we must have talked for, I don't know, 2 hours, an hour, a couple hours. I don't even know the duration of the call. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. But we talked for a long time. And she said, well, a lot of people are furious because you had written a poem. And I know which poem she's referring to. It was for a cancer warrior. And they of course, naturally, because people, I think there's a deliberate, you know, taking things out of context kind of thing going on. And that's what happened. Because, and I pointed this out to my friend. I said, well, you know, it's really fucking stupid. I've been a writer for damn near 30 years altogether. If we're going to talk about, I mean, if we're going to count all the writing I've done when I was a kid, when I was like 7, 8 years old, and, you know, just little riddles and stuff, and just little writing. I've been writing for a very long fucking time. I think by now, after having been a writer for so many years, I would pick up on words and their definitions and their meanings, and I would have an expansive vocabulary. I was eloquent when I was on Facebook. I would use words that people had no idea what the fuck the words meant. And there would even be times when I would use words that didn't fit the paragraph. It didn't fit what I was talking about. Like I would even use the wrong words, but I knew what I meant and I knew where I was going. I have a very eloquent vocabulary. I'm very knowledgeable with words and definitions, their usages. And
when someone says a word wrong and you
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
correct them like me.
yeah, I don't know. It's just because I've been writing for so many years. And this friend of mine I was speaking to, she says, well, it's because you said you would trade places with the warrior in their bed. Now, initially, if you don't know me otherwise, you would read that and think, well, that doesn't sound very nice. But there's a couple things you got to consider. First of all, I have never in my life written anything disgusting about a child or for a child. And secondly, I'm a childhood cancer survivor. Me as a survivor standing on the opposite side of the warrior who's in their hospital bed, I would trade places with you in your bed, meaning, hey, I would take your place again. So you could be on the survivor side. So I would be the patient and you would be the one standing at the foot of the bed or wherever. And it's like, it's really a shame that I have to put qualifiers on things now. I have to explain when that's not what I was thinking when I wrote the poem, but that's how people took it. And it's like, son of a bitch. Now I have to go back and I have to explain what I meant. And I have to dissect my own work. I have to just tear it apart with my bare hands and explain to people that's not what I meant. I had the thought that what I wanted to say, and I guess people took it the wrong way. They took it as some kind of a creepy whatever going on. It's like, what the fuck? And to say that you would kiss away a child's tears, I don't see where that's creepy. I don't know. It's not. But I kind of, again, I kind of get it. The word kiss. The word kiss. It has nothing to do with anything else. And just so you people know, it was the little girl's parents who got that whole thing started because their minds are always in the fucking gutter. Their dad, he not only does he post things about being celibate, but he also, like, there was a time when he posted a picture of a tree trunk that depicted a vagina. I'm not making this up. And he says, oh, I must really need it. You're an idiot, dude. You're a fucking dummy. And I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. The parents are fucking just stupid. They're just not there. And they even argued. I mean, the parents even argued back and forth on Facebook because the mother of that little girl, she got knocked up by another guy. And she got knocked up by a guy who has a fetish for diapers. He likes to wear diapers during, you know what I mean, Amy? He likes to wear diapers during you know what. What a weird fucking fetish. What a weird fetish. But yeah, I'm the bad one. Okay. But really, that's what it boils down to. That's why they're calling me a pedophile. They're calling me a this and calling me a that. No such thing. No such thing. I've been writing poetry and journals. I've been writing journals now for going on, I think 22 years. This November will be 22 years. But when I was a kid, I was writing stories. Back in 1990, I want to say 97, 98. I was living in Merrill. I think I shared the story before. We were living out in Merrill, and they had a sidewalk chalk drawing competition. And I already knew in mind what I wanted to draw because I've been practicing the emblem for a good many years. I would always turn over my paper, like the schoolwork, and I draw on the back. I draw emblems and logos and things like that because I was fascinated with stuff like that. Well, I decided to try my hand at the sidewalk chalk drawing competition, and all the other kids were drawing pictures of their dogs, pictures of their houses, pictures of their trees, and pictures of just, goldfish and things like that. What did I draw? I drew the emblem to Coca-Cola. Details, how the font of the lettering, and that can be hard to draw. It can be very hard to draw, but I drew it. And everybody around was coming around looking at my drawing, and they're like, whoa, he just drew the Coca-Cola emblem. Like, really? He drew that. And I took first place. mind you, I got home after winning first place, and I still have the plaque. I might even show it to you guys next week in next week's Sunday video. After I got home, I accepted my award, and I started to cry. And my mom says, "What are you so sad about? What's wrong? What are you crying for?" And I just, because I took first place, I took this award from somebody else, from some other kid who tried really hard. And I felt bad for the other kids. And mom says, "You have such an amazing heart. You care so much about other people." And at that time, I didn't conceptualize that's what that meant, that I cared about other people or that I had a big heart. But it's like I felt bad alone based on the fact that I had taken first place and none of the other kids won. Um, I felt really bad and I cried about it. And if you ask my mom today, she'll tell you the same thing. You can ask my dad, he'll tell you the same thing. True story. But I still have the plaque, I still have the award. And next week, like I said, if I remember to grab it out of my journal cabinet, I will show you guys exactly what it looks like. But I've had years of experiences as a writer. You know, I notice like words that I've never read before, never heard before, I'd never written the word before. And when something's different like that, I always kind of, now that we have Google, well, back then I had, you know, my dictionaries and thesauruses and things like that. But now that we have Google, all I got to do is pull it up, type in the word, get the usage of the word. But anytime I would come across a word that was different or I didn't know how to pronounce or what does this mean, I would research the word, look it up, and got the usage, and then I would try to use it in a sentence. But that's how I built my vocabulary. That's how I had become so eloquent with the words and the language that but in no way, shape, or form have I, nor would I ever write anything disgusting or just gross for kids or about kids. There's just no fucking way. That's just not what I would do. It's not who I am. And trying to tell these parents that, okay, I'm sorry you had taken it that way, but that's not what I meant. Instead, what they're doing is that they're going on, even today, convincing people that I'm a creep, that I'm a perv. And that's where things took a turn for the worse, because there's people out there, even now today, who are convinced that I had written this perverted poem for a little girl battling cancer. And that's just not, that wasn't my intention at all. And I would have been willing to have the conversation had they not sent, you know, death threats to me and text messages. And I gladly told them to fuck off and don't ever contact me again. But I know they're still up to their antics and their shenanigans, and they disguise themselves under the name Justina Banks on Facebook. Check it out. Huh. What's that?
To disregard the photo
Yeah. What photo?
on Justina Banks.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Justina Banks' account had stolen a picture of Amy, and they're trying to pass themselves off as Amy. So just so you guys know, Amy is not Justina Banks, and I pointed that out in a daily rant just recently. Amy is not Justina Banks. I promise you. I promise you. If Amy and I have a disagreement, we will talk about it. We will handle it like adults. We probably even end up shouting at each other if it comes to that. But you know, I don't have any beef with Amy. I don't have any ill will against Amy.
I don't have any beef against you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been getting along pretty good past couple weeks. I mean, yeah, we have our days, we have our moments, but we don't stay mad very long. We say, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to snap, or I didn't mean to say what I said in that particular way. It's not what I meant." It's like, perfect example before I wrap this up. Dad and Amy went away by themselves, and Dad wanted me to come along, and Amy was really upset. She was sitting at the end of the couch. She was really shaking upset. And she says, "Well, I thought, you know, you and I were going to go." And I said, "Well, Amy, if you just want you and Dad to go, all you got to do is tell me. You know, I don't mind. I don't care." And she was really upset, because she just wanted to be alone with dad. And it's like, well, that's not for me. If you want, and I enjoyed staying home. I was home alone by myself that day and I loved it. I loved every fucking minute of it. I love the alone time. But we talked about it and, we're square. But I'm glad they got to spend time together.
We're supposed to today too, but
Yeah. There's been some other not so good shit going on. And, I don't want to put it out there, but because it's not for me to discuss.
yeah.
But I've been here for the hour already. That hour went by fucking fast. And I thank you all for stopping by and indulging me for this past hour. It has been great. I'm happy to be back in the seat. I'm happy to be back behind the mic. And Dad, he's outside because my brother's actually here. That I thought someone was here, and sure enough, it was my brother. Yeah. But that's going to do it for this week, guys, for this edition of the Sunday video for Sunday, April 11th, 2021. Any last words, Amy? Dad's outside. He's not going to have any last words.
Peace out. Be safe.
That it?
Yep.
All right. Dad's outside. So I would imagine Dad would say, have a good week and be healthy. The usual. But anyway, for Dad and for Amy, my name is Jared Fuller, a.k.a. the Jer Bear. I will see you all next week at 3 o'clock Eastern. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around for a little while. Much love and peace out, guys. Take care. See you later.